live stuff much, so I thought I would do one for post Oscars. So there's something wrong when you are so deflated after looking at some of the Oscar fashion now. I did post, the thumbnail is of Kate Hudson, the daughter of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. At least I think, maybe she's not. I can't remember. Is she? I don't know. Anyway, I liked what she was wearing. The dress is not my favorite color, but it looked great on her. Nicole Kidman wore a very interesting outfit. And there were some good ones. And then there were some things, it was like, why are you wearing that? I mean, do you know what you look like? And it kind of, there are a few moments, one of the actresses actually got into a shoving contest, I think, with a guy that she thought purposely shoved her. It was like, I didn't realize we were watching a fight at the mall. So there it is. It just, I was very happy that one battle after another won. I'm not exactly as high up on Sinners as a lot of people are, but I have historical issues with it, and issues with the villain bad guy kind of dynamic going on there. And the excuses were, no, you don't, no, you don't, I'm not going to excuse that at all. It was just very interesting. One of the actresses, I think she won Best Actress, basically, made a pitch for traditional life, motherhood, children, marriage, and really kind of, she struck I think she struck a good beat. Then Javier Bardem decided to say something stupid. You know, it was I think in the book, was it in there? War and Remembrance, or The Winds of War, talking about how fascism has taken over, artists and the intelligentsia and stuff like that. And you see it now. I mean, you see it with Mark Ruffalo, you see it with that raging nutbag, Olivia Wilde. And it's like, the respect these guys used to have is not there anymore because they can't keep their mouth shut. If you don't know what you're talking about, you probably should zip your lip. And it's really interesting, the debate and the outright disgust by more than one entertainment person like Michael Rappaport, really taking it to these people and others. I mean, it's like, okay. And I do respect and like Conan O'Brien. Of all the late night guys, he's like the one with the brain. The rest of them are, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel can't keep his mouth shut. Me. If I was his agent, I would say the reason why you're not going to get your contract extended in April is because you can't keep your fucking mouth shut. People didn't watch Johnny Carson and David Letterman and Tom Schneider to be lectured. I mean, Johnny Carson himself said, I would never do that because I don't want to alienate my audience. And as you watch these guys, Stephen Colbert's losing his show, he's losing his job. Why? Can't keep his mouth shut. And trust me, he really doesn't know what he's talking about. But Kimmel, it's like, it's personal, and you find out that his wife is the lead writer on the show, and she's an affluent white female ultra-leftist on steroids. She defines it, okay? And, we're talking about a guy. Remember when he did the Man Show and all the disgusting things he did? There's a great gif on X of him doing some of that to a woman, and I just look, I cannot, I'm not gonna let the hypocrite get away with it. He can sit there and cry about this and that and the other thing, and he did try to apologize, but it was like, you knew what you were doing was gross when you did it, you still did it because you thought it was funny. He was never funny, ever. He is not Ron White. He is not Joe Rogan. He is not Joey Diaz. He is not Tom Segura. He's not a good comedian. He's not John Panette. He's just a little weasel who got lucky taking over a late night show, and he's alienated over half the country. People don't watch it. You know what they do when they come home at night after dinner, after the news is over? You know what they do now? They either watch a movie, watch streaming, or they go to bed. They do not tune into him. Same thing with Stephen Colbert. Same thing with Jimmy Fallon, who's a drunk. Anyway, from what I've heard. Anyway, so yeah, you've got Kimmel going off, and Conan O'Brien saying, well, you've just got to go with it, and just make sure you don't go too far. I don't know, Javier Bardem sounding like Adolf Hitler, pretty much is going too far. Okay, but at least we didn't get Billie Eilish with her lack of, is she a droid? No way, droid's actually a personality. Is she like a I don't know, like a machine made, there's nothing there. The girl doesn't smile. She's like Susan Rice. You sit there and look at her and there's no humanity. It's like there's no soul. Susan Rice absolutely has no soul at all. Okay, and I'm being perfectly honest with that. So, the Oscars didn't do well. I went and looked at the views and all the bits and pieces that you could find to kind of add up to see what the interest was. I'm sorry, but for a show that people waited for all year when I was a kid, that had hundreds of millions of viewers across the globe, they can't get 1 million views now on YouTube or whatever it was. It's dead. And even Steven Spielberg said, we need to preserve, it was the Timothy Chalamet, opera and ballet are dead. He's stupid. Timothy Chalamet is the guy a woman who spent 10 years on birth control would think is cute, right? That's who he is. Let's not kid ourselves, all right? He is the biggest pussy I have ever seen in my life. And I just look at him and go, cringe. I cringe when I look at him more than I cringe at Austin Butler. Not as much as I cringe at, the little Irish dude that looks like a cartoon character. He looks like a Dick Tracy bad guy. Oh, what's his name? Shit. Anyway, you guys probably know who it is. Who I'm talking about. But, where are these actors coming from anymore? They wonder why, people go, where's the movie star? Well, you're not casting any potential movie stars except for Henry Cavill, and you fucked with him too, because he wants to do things honestly. What's wrong with that? I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, so the Oscars, they were boring. They were a nothing burger with splashes of fascism and Nazism tossed in for good measure. But again, the arts back in the 1930s and 20s did have a hotbed of fascists and communists embedded. You've got the Spanish Civil War poetry. Ever read that shit? I had to. I don't, want to read that crap. So anyway, let's go ahead to Star Wars. So we've got like a couple weeks, 3 weeks maybe before Darth Maul, Shadow Lord comes out. And I kind of sort of can't wait. Like I said in my video of the other day, Sam Witwer basically said Dave Filoni told the creators of this, that the animators and the writers, this has got to work. This has got to be really good. This has got to be the best we've ever done. And I think the reason why is because he has been told that basically, if they don't do well with this, there's going to be a lot of people either fired or, God knows what's going to happen. Star Wars needs a hit, and they need a streaming hit. And again, like I said, I think that it would be about time for Disney to address the black pills and the blue pills and tell everybody what's really going on, so people can move on from it, so people can go, oh, and then either say we were wrong or we were right, blah 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 blah, and change the narrative, because right now there is no narrative for Star Wars that the black pills haven't written. And I hate to say it, but in some ways they're getting what they want because they're controlling the narrative. Now, again, I'm going to shock everybody. Mandalorian and Grogu had a really big debut as far as the trailer went. It was number 2 on all of YouTube. And then Pixar's Toy Story 5, that came out, and that is now number 1. And it's a little kids movie. Even though when it comes on streaming, I'll probably watch it, because they're bringing everybody out or back. So, now if you're wondering why it's so dark here, we're in the middle of a severe thunderstorm watch and tornado watch. So here you go. So anyway, so yeah, we have to look at that and go, okay, what do we want? Do we want Star Wars to do good? Yeah, we do. All right. Do we want Dave Filoni to be successful? A real fan wants him to be successful, right? We just want him to be. And do we believe all the propaganda, lies, and shit like this, made up shit, by the, pop culture version of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens? Or are we going to just let ourselves make up our own mind? I think it's time for the fans to start making up their own mind, because, from time to time I'll get a troll here saying something extremely stupid. And perfectly well that came from one of the black pills or the blue pills, because, I'll tell you something. So I kind of follow Star Wars on Reddit just because I'm curious. These Reylos, and they still exist, there's not as many, but they still exist, are to having a viewing of The Last Jedi at a theater. Why? How many are going to show? 5? But I'll tell you guys something. Nobody, and I mean nobody, who has a brain believes that show was successful as far as merchandise, because there's still Last Jedi merchandise at Ollie's. I saw it yesterday. Okay. I saw DEI, Star Wars merchandise, Reva, etc., at Ollie's yesterday. And I'm like, why do you guys think people want to see this when they can't move the merch? They can't. So whatever. But yes, these deluded women and their gay buddies are going to have a watch party at a theater for The Last Jedi. Don't vomit in front of me. Go to the bathroom to do it. Okay. So yeah, there's that. And we've got Darth Maul Shadow Lord that's coming out. Kind of sort of can't wait. What else? So I want to talk a little bit about The Madison, Taylor Sheridan's newest thing at Paramount Plus. It's good. When I started watching it, I thought it was going to be one thing, and it turned to be something completely different. And I watched like the first part, like half of it, and was so like completely like I couldn't finish watching it because it was too sad. So last night I went home. We got home from doing stuff, and watched all 3 episodes, and they were fine. And here's what makes it good. You've got the younger daughter who gets punched in the face and mugged on Fifth Avenue. Some big black guy walks up, punches her in the mouth, and she's got a lovely cut here, and or be on this side, and takes off with like what she probably went to Prada or some designer store. Calls her mom. Her mom's like, "Why are you walking? We have a car." She's like, I can't walk down the street, Fifth Avenue." And her mom's like, "No." So she flags down a cop, black cop, by the way, and says, I was attacked, I was robbed, blah, blah. Cop kind of looks at her and goes, "Can you give me a description?" And she said, "He's this, this, and this." And then the cop goes, "Well, what color?" And she goes, "I can't do that. It's racist." So basically the guy got away. She said he's wearing a blue hoodie, he's carrying a navy blue hoodie or whatever, and carrying 2 white bags. So they just kind of drove off and did whatever. I doubt that they're gonna get anything back. They didn't take her information to get back to her, and they didn't take her down to the station just so she could make a statement. So, because she wouldn't say what race he was. Do you know how fucking stupid that is? You get robbed, you get punched in the face. Basically, it's I think simple battery? Yeah, that guy's gonna go to jail for about 10 years for that. If you actually do what you're supposed to, which is tell the cops what the fuck happened. So anyway, Michelle Pfeiffer tells Kurt Russell he's in Montana fishing with his brother, who's played by Matthew Fox, what happened. And he's like, "Why the hell didn't you take the car?" He's pissed. And so he kind of rages around a little bit. And then a tragedy happens. And Michelle Pfeiffer just decides to grab the whole family and go out to Montana to this ranch that Kurt Russell owns with his brother, and take claim onto it because Kurt Russell's character is dead. And they get there, and it's like a soul-searching expedition, and it's absolutely a beautiful place. I mean, it's the cabin's really rustic, but it's a beautiful place. The girl that wouldn't give the cops the actual information they needed to catch the guy that beat her up got stung in the ass, literally, in places you don't want to get stung, by a nest of hornets that were inside the outhouse, in the hole. So I'm like, and then her husband did. He got stung in the eye. But the guys, the rancher that lives next door is this cowboy. Came over to see how they're doing, and brought with him food. And his wife had cooked and did all this stuff. And they're like very thankful, but they don't, because they don't know what they're doing. I mean, there's an argument about cornmeal. Is it polenta or is it grits? And it's like there isn't a fucking difference. And Michelle Pfeiffer's trying to explain that to the girl that got her ass stung. And it's like, you really can't be that stupid. Yeah, you can. You're a New York woman. Of course you can. Because on the package, it was mailed locally by some Mennonites. Of course, the question goes, what's a Mennonite? So the guy, he brings out all this food, and he had this fry bread, which is really good. And he said, and you can make Indian tacos with it. And the first thing that comes out of the 9-year-old's mouth is, "That's racist." And then her sister, "Yeah, that's racist." And it's like, oh fuck. The pronoun brigade has invaded Montana. And after he left, and Michelle Pfeiffer, his grandma, kind of explained it, she roared at them. She went after them. And it was, it's okay, coach, it's raining right now. And her daughter, the oldest daughter who's divorced, came flying out of there, yelling at her, "How dare you talk to my daughters like that?" And she goes, "I wasn't talking to them like that, I was talking to you." And she basically called her spoiled, etc., and rude, and just, she was right. And I have a feeling by the time they're done, these people, if they stay long, it'll end up being, they kind of learn a lesson. But watching an actress that I have been following since I was a kid go completely politically incorrect and go after, her fascist daughter and her fascist granddaughters was absolutely epic. And it was totally Taylor Sheridan. I mean, it's basically the message that we get from Landsman and King of Tulsa, Tulsa King, right? When Sylvester Stallone's talking about pronouns and this and that. I mean, yeah. All right. So I'm going to say if you can get through the first half hour of the first show and not feel your heart leave your body, you're going to be in for a treat because it's really honest. It's really, really honest. So anyway, there's that, and there hasn't been any movement on the Karen McCarthy situation. Josh D'Amaro is officially going to take over the Walt Disney Company as CEO in this week, I think Wednesday. Now again, Bob Iger is going to be in the background. He's not leaving his. He's not done officially. His contract is not done officially until the 31st of December. So, but I really don't think that makes any difference. I don't really, because I think they really, really vetted the hell out of D'Amaro, and I think they've got a good one. I like him. He seems pretty sure of what he wants, which is, I want Disney to succeed. Good enough for me, man. All right, testify, So anyway, I wanted to talk about this and, give some feedback out because really there's not a lot of news. And I'm sorry, but I haven't seen any of the Oscar nominated movies. I'm like, don't care. And I think the reason why is because, you look at the red carpet, politically correct garbage, right? Now, again, there wasn't anybody showing up in hot pants, even though Pedro Pascal did not wear a jacket over his tuxedo shirt, and it looked stupid. Everybody was kind of dressed appropriately. He was the only one I complained about. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? So there's that. I don't really, there's nothing else going on. It's just whatever. Star Wars is moving on, and I guess I don't know, I think maybe they dropped another trailer for Darth Maul because I just saw something, or maybe they didn't, I don't know. So we'll just have to see. I wasn't gonna be on here very long, only because there's nothing really to talk about. Again, you know, the Oscars flopped on YouTube. But I think the reason why they wanted to go to YouTube is because it would be way too easy for people to look at the Nielsen ratings and go, wow, wow. And, you know, I mean, there is some truth to, you know, the movies, the film industry is in dire straits right now. And it has everything to do with the fact that they make shitty movies. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna watch any of these. I'm not gonna watch any of these. I'm not going to, you know, patronize actors that I don't like. Like, you know, the movie about Hermann Goering, Russell Crowe playing the lead, which is like, Russell Crowe as Goering? Are you kidding me? Anyway, the guy that's playing Jackson, Judge Jackson, Michael Shannon, is an anti-American, loudmouth, left-wing fascist bigot, and I'm not gonna watch it because of him. Don't care. A friend of mine, Baz, has said, you should see this, blah, blah, blah. And I sent him, there's the video, official video version of a show the BBC put on called Nuremberg, Goering's Last Stand. And the director that put it together is British, and he did a really good job. I can't remember what his name is, but it's a really good show. And they had a proper German playing Fat Herman, and it was history made, you know, shown well, right? Okay, so there you go. I've been on for like a half hour, and you know, I think I'm gonna slow down here. But anyway, back to that TV show. If you want to see it, it's called Nuremberg, Hermann Goering's Last Stand. Watch it. All right. It's a docudrama. It's a hell of a lot better than the movie, and you're not going to be spending any money on it. All right. Just look it up here. Look it up here on YouTube, and there you go. It'll be entertaining. You'll learn some history. Anyway, so I gotta go. Again, like I said, we're under a tornado watch, and it's 65 degrees outside. Tomorrow it's gonna be 35. Welcome to Pennsylvania. Anyway, see you guys around the galaxy. Have a good day, and talk at you later.